Alright, in this video, I want to talk a little bit more about my tutorial requests that I have for you all, and something that by request I've added something else to my whole tutorial, or now what I'm calling a private project piece as well. Now, as always, you can make a request for a video tutorial, whether it be math, KLWP, Tasker, or what have you, at my request tab. The live tutoring has been going great. I live in North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina. I tutor students in Charlotte through the internet. I tutor students. I have a student I just started tutoring in Florida through the video chat. So that's been working great. Math tutorials, if you make a math tutorial request, most of the time what's worked well is I send you a written out complete solution. I email that to you, and that has sufficed. From time to time I do a math video on that particular topic. And then for the Android request, those take a little bit more time to do. And remember, underneath Android, you can go to Upcoming Toots, and that's where you can see where you are in line. This is the order in which I receive them. This is the order in which I will do them unless I am waiting on an update from KLWP. For example, today is February 17th. I think there's a big update coming soon for KLWP that involves custom animations. I am super excited about that. So from time to time I may skip one, but this is where it has the waiting game comes into play for those of you making these Android requests for Tasker or KLWP mainly. Down here, these are the ones that I got over the past week, earlier this week, like a different way to create an APK or more tutorials on navigating the DOM. It's going to take me probably at least 2 months to get there, because on average I do one video per week, sometimes two. But I mean, yeah, count them and you can see it's going to take several weeks for me to get to that tutorial. Other things that happen over the course of any given week, over at my Weebly dashboard, I can click on this little thing right here, and right now I have 21 requests to look through. This is a combination of math requests, KLWP, Tasker, tutorial or tutoring request, or sometimes I'll get these messages or requests where the user has attached their, or given me a link to their Tasker project or their KLWP preset, and they want me to look at it, fix something, or create something for them. And I don't mind doing it. It's just that that list is growing long as well. I don't have that list shared publicly, but nonetheless, there is a list. It's about half a dozen presets or Tasker projects that I have to go through and diagnose these issues for these users. And I'm doing them in the order in which I receive them. But nonetheless, still too, back here on these tutorials, I want you to make sure you know to go to Upcoming Toots to see where you are in line. Because what it has boiled down to sometimes now is that the user has said, hey, I don't need a video tutorial, I just want you to figure it out. just figure it out for me and send it to me, which I have done. Two examples, very recent examples over the past month. One example was where a KLWP user was using just KLWP to do an API call to get the world tide times. I guess she lives near the beach. And KLWP, between opening KLWP, saving it, and closing KLWP, she was exceeding her call limit. Well, I created a project in Tasker for her. I used a profile in Tasker, which in turn, did that call on that API just a certain number of times per day. And I haven't heard any complaints from her over the past 2 weeks, so I'm assuming it's working well and she's not exceeding her call limit anymore. That was about a 3-hour project. Another user, Lightning Launcher. I know I had that down here in the red zone, but they were like, look, dude, I know you can figure this out. I want you to figure it out. And when somebody says that, I got to try to figure it out. So that over the course of 3 days, I spent about 8 hours trying to figure that thing out. Lightning Launcher, I've talked about it before. Lightning Launcher in and of itself is a huge app in terms of customization, just like KLWP, just like Tasker. So, adding that on, it will probably be added someday, but not right now. I'm still, plenty involved with Tasker and KLWP, where I don't need to add something else as large as Lightning Launcher to it just yet. So, with these private things, or with these tutorial requests, people ask, well, if I pay a little bit of money, will you do it sooner? Or if I compensate you for it, will you do it sooner? And up until now, I have said no. I don't want to take compensation for that. But it's been suggested so many times that I do want to have that option available to you now. So you can request a project. So to make a request for a project right there, this is only geared towards those of you who don't feel like waiting. If you don't want to wait for a tutorial video, if you don't want a tutorial video, if you want something done and you want it done faster than, say, 2 months or several weeks, this is the option. This is coming from feedback from you all. Those of you who have sent me your Tasker files or your KLWP files, y'all have messaged me and said, hey, I'll pay you a little bit if you'll get this done faster. Every answer has always been no. I'll get to it in the order in which I receive it. I think that's only fair. But if you want to, if you don't feel like waiting for your tutorial, if you don't want to wait for me to look at your project in the order in which I receive it, then fill out a request right here. And y'all, again, some of y'all may not like this, but if you don't mind waiting, the best I can do for y'all is, you submit a request for a tutorial. I'll put it in here. You can still submit me your files, and I'll look at them in the order in which I receive them. But again, the turnover on that is going to be much longer. Whereas versus if you're like hiring me for a job, I'm going to get it done sooner for you. Plus the projects, I can work on those, not being in front of a computer all the time. Most of the time I can do that unless I'm doing some type of stuff in Tasker. But whereas the tutorial videos, I got to sit down, devote about 2 hours each Friday. That's when I typically do my tutorials. To devote about 2 hours to getting an Android tutorial done between recording it, editing it, and all that stuff. But the projects that some of you may want me to do for you that I have been doing, I can work on these whether I have a few minutes here and there at work, like between classes or something like that, and that's what I find myself doing. So that option's there for you. Take it if you want it. If you don't mind waiting, by all means, please continue doing what you've been doing all along. And there you have it. That's my update. If you want something done faster, go click on Request a Project. Fill out that information. There's no charge to you up front. You only pay once you request it. I tell you I can do it, and I show it to you through a private video that I share with you. If you like it, then yes, I will ask for a little bit of compensation. We can discuss all of that over the phone, email, whatever you want to do. Fill out the form, and I'll get in touch with you. And there you have it, an update to tutorial request and now the newly added project request. And that's it for this video. I hope it helped.